Yes. Hi. It's back. I eventually got it back from repair. It's only just arrived today, which I'm pretty chuffed about. In one of the last videos, I told you guys how I'd fallen over and the camera went flying and it broke, but the insurance covered it, so it's back from repair. So yeah, I'm chuffed to bits about that. A couple other really good things that are happening in the next few weeks. Now today we're at the 7th of December. It's really gloomy outside. We haven't seen much of the sun, any decent sunrises, sunsets in a good while. Night times are equally as boring because there's too much cloud around. We can't do any astrophotography. So hopefully that'll clear in the next couple of weeks because first off, the Geminids Meteor Shower has already started. It started on the 4th of December. Now, gradually, as the kind of days go by to the peak of the Geminids Meteor Shower, if we do get clear skies, you should start to see a couple of more shooting stars. Now, one of my friends, he photographed a he didn't photograph it, he eyeballed a fireball, which sounded like it came from the Geminids, and he said it was pretty impressive. It could have been, it could have been something completely different, but anyways, the Geminids is always a special meteor shower to watch. If we do get to see it in a December, I always like to sit outside, you know, a cup of hot chocolate or whatnot, wrapped up warm, and you do get to see, you know, hopefully a good number of meteors, a good few shooting stars. Now the Geminids, like I said, it starts on the 4th, but you shouldn't expect to see loads of meteors or loads of shooting stars that early on. You might see a couple, but then as it nears the peak of the meteor shower, which is the 13th and the morning of the 14th of December, then you could see up to 120 shooting stars an hour. You might not. Again, factors are the weather. If it's cloudy, thick cloud like it is now, you're not going to see any. If it's broken cloud, you could see some. Hopefully it's clear. Also good on the night of the 13th and morning of the 14th is the fact that it's a new moon. Now that means the moon is not visible in the sky, so its light isn't going to be washing out some of the fainter shooting stars. So that's good for us that there's a new moon. So it's visible from both hemispheres. Now the Geminids is named because it originates in the sky from the constellation Gemini. Now if you don't know where to find Gemini, here it is. Gemini is to the left of Orion. Orion is quite easy for a spot in the sky. If you just know Orion's belt, that's absolutely fine. You just need to look to the left of that and you'll see two very bright stars. They normally rise slightly before Orion on a night time. In the winter, they typically are above the horizon by 4:30 in the tea time. And then Orion follows just slightly after. So if you see Orion, you know that Gemini is also just slightly above and to the left of it. Now the two stars that you locate for the Gemini, which I've just shown you, are Castor and Pollux. Pollux, right? Now they're the twins, okay? And just slightly above I'm forgetting, is it Castor on the top? Might be Castor. No, it's Castor or Pollux. Bollocks, I'm forgetting. Yeah, the radiant for the shooting stars comes from just above those two stars. All right. But saying that, all you really need to do is wrap up warm, get yourself comfortable, go outside. Again, if it's clear, watch the weather forecast. Go outside, let your eyes adjust for a minimum 20 minutes to half an hour in the dark. Turn off your outside lights. If you live in a built-up area, try and get yourself to the nearest kind of darker sky site or somewhere that's a little bit darker away from street lights. Allow your eyes to adjust to the dark. Sit back, just look up and see how many you can spot. You don't necessarily have to look directly towards Gemini, but kind of in that direction, but looking up, okay? If you are going to photograph it, you'll need a digital camera, almost definitely a tripod, a shutter release cable if your camera hasn't got an inbuilt intervalometer. You're looking, depending on what lens you use, you're wanting a wide angle lens. I'm going to be using the Samyang 12mm. It's got an inbuilt intervalometer in the camera, so I don't need to worry about that. A wide angle and wide open aperture. You want a low f-stop if you can to allow as much light in as you can. Your ISO is going to depend very much on where you're based. If you've got a lot of light pollution and whatnot, your ISO is going to be a lot different to someone who is in a dark sky site. And again, depending on what lens you're using, what kind of focal length and whatnot, you're going to want to do around about a 20 to a 30-second exposure. Again, depending on your settings and where you're at and whatnot, but around about that, to allow the shutter to remain open long enough to allow those shooting stars to pass by the sensor and kind of record that data. Now, it is hit and miss, like I've said in the previous video for the Orionids. You don't always get lucky catching shooting stars on camera. I've caught, I don't know, maybe 20 frames across the past numerous years. Some of them just by chance. But if you are kind of photographing it pointed up towards the sky in the vague direction of Gemini, but the shooting stars can come from any direction, that's the bit of an awkward thing. But just in that direction, I just normally have it facing directly up towards the sky as far as I can go, and hopefully I'll catch some shooting stars going by the camera. So that's what you want to kind of be looking at. But like I say, Gemini rises quite early, 4:30 in the early evening. When it's dark enough, you can go out and start looking for them. Usually, once the radiant, where the shooting stars come from, once the radiant goes higher in the sky, it's kind of better for to see them. So most news sources or astronomy sources will say to look around local midnight, but you can try your luck and go out anytime really. But yeah, the Geminids originate from an asteroid, not a comet, which I didn't know until doing a little bit of research before this video. But yeah, it is exciting. I hope we get some clear skies. And any questions that you have about the meteor shower, just give me a bell. But dates to keep in mind are, well, from now, and it ends on the 17th of December. But the peak is the evening of the 13th of December and the morning of the 14th. So bear those in mind. Something very, very exciting is the Saturn and Jupiter great conjunction. Now, a lot of people have been tagging me in different posts about this, which I really appreciate. And I don't think I really took into consideration how great this could be until I'd done a little bit of research about it. Now, the first time I got tagged in a post, I was like, yeah, it's not going to look like a blinding star, that's for sure. Yeah, it'll be canny for to see, I suppose. But then I started to do a little bit of research around it, and it's pretty impressive. I didn't realise how rare these things are. Now, by rare, sorry, no, take a step back. Take a step back, Stephen. Come on, pull yourself together. It's going to happen on the 21st of December. Now, the 21st of December is also the winter solstice. Jupiter and Saturn will appear very low in the southern horizon, the southwest horizon, just after sunset, and they're gonna set just after 6 o'clock in the evening. So it's a very small window of opportunity for to be able to see it, coupled with the fact that it's going to be low down on the horizon. So if you've got a low horizon cloud, cover, we're going to be goosed. I hope that we'll get some decent weather. I am going to kind of travel for this one if I can, if I have to, I should say. By travel, I mean like Northumberland, or a little bit further afield, but not like international travel, COVID and whatnot. So yeah, it happens on the 21st of December. It happens every 20 years, this conjunction, but it hasn't been this, the two planets, the two worlds, Jupiter and Saturn, haven't been this close on the 21st of December since 1226. 800 years ago was the last time they were as close as they'll be on the 21st. How exciting is that, man? 800, well, nearly 800 years since they were that close. Now, when I started thinking about that, I get a little bit excited. I start to geek out a little bit. The telescope wasn't invented, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong. Until the 17th century. 1600 odd, Galileo and two others kind of invented it at the same time, around about the same time, as far as I'm aware. So if the telescope wasn't invented until 1600 odd, the 17th century, and the last great conjunction where the two worlds were so close together didn't happen until 1226, then that means if we get to see this with good weather conditions, we could be the first human beings to ever see the planets through a telescope together in great detail in the history of planet Earth. Geek out at that. I proper geeked out at that. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but this is how I've kind of looked at it. God, it's exciting stuff, this. I know. Geek. It's exciting though, isn't it? Right, so, what I plan to do is, I plan to get the telescope outside early on the 21st so that the air temperature inside the tube is kind of the same as the outside air temperature, so that doesn't affect any imaging. With Jupiter and Saturn, the planets and the moons will be visible, and both planets should be visible in the same field of view, as far as I'm led to believe. Now, the two worlds will appear very close together in the field of view, and you'll also have Callista, Io, and Europa, Jupiter's moons, in the shot as well. Now, to expose them all correctly, you're going to have to take, if you are photographing them through a telescope, you're going to have to photograph two kind of different compositions. Now, different exposure and timing possibly for Jupiter to get some surface detail, and different exposure and timing for to expose the moons. All right. Now, you could see them through binoculars, certainly through a telescope. I'm not entirely certain through kind of long lenses, possibly, but I'm kind of focusing more on the telescope. I will do a live feed on Facebook if we get good weather and we can see the great conjunction. For those who can't see it, I'll do a live feed, so at least you get the chance to see it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah, there's two really good things, exciting things for to see. I hope you go out and enjoy them. If you've got any questions, pop a comment. Like the video, subscribe. Dislike if you didn't like it, that's fine. As normal, a bit of a waffle on, but who cares, you know. I hope it's been informative for you. God, I'm so excited for having my camera back. I borrowed one off my friend, bless him, a Fuji, but Look at it. Sexual. It is gorgeous. Enjoy the meteor shower. Enjoy the conjunction. Follow me on Facebook if you want to see a live video as well. I might do a little video about how I'm going to do the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction actually. But yeah. Cheers guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry for waffling on, but I shall see you all in a bit. Bye bye.